Hi. So today I am on the quest for texture to add a little bit of interesting things on my drums, and I wanted to use my mixer to create something like this. So let me try to put something together, and then I will try to see where and how I can utilize the mixer. So right now I'm in Logic. I will try to run things through my mixer and then back into the computer, and then this will hopefully create some interesting things. All right, so I guess the best way to demonstrate this will be like some house music. So I'm at 125. So let me try to lay down something. Let me quantize that. And then let me try to put some clap. Yeah, that clap seems to work. And then some shakers, some hi-hats. Let me try to put together some sort of percussion. So I have this stab sample. So I will try to add that in. Something like this. I like it when it kind of abruptly stops. Alright, so I've added a few filter automation and then some effects. I have an EQ, delay, compressor, reverb, these sort of things. And this is the kind of stabs that I have. So that kind of gives a little bit of filters movement. I already have a bass idea. So I have retro synth here. It's a very housey bass. So all in all, this is the beat so far. So these are my musical pieces, so far at least. And then I have my drums. Now where this mixer comes in is I would like to process some of these things through the mixer. So I have it connected in channel 1. And then the out of the mixer is going into my audio interface, into input 3 and 4. And then out is also out 3 and 4. So it kind of goes in, do the processing, add in all of the good stuff. And it goes back, and then eventually later on, I think the best thing would be to re-record everything that comes out of this. Not necessarily like select the output and then leave it like this, but like select it, then putting it back and then recording. So I think that's where I'm thinking of. So these are my drums. I have kind of adjusted the level a little bit. I have some EQs, some EQs and reverbs on my snares. Some little EQs on my hi-hats. Kind of give that kind of little high notes. But anyway, so the way I am going to do this is using Logic's IO plugin. It's a native plugin in Logic. So first I'm going to create a track stack, right? Summoning track, of course. But now setting it up is that right here, my kicks or my drums, every single channel on my drums is going, the output is going into my track stack. So summoning tracks, so output is going into a bus, and then the bus is the summoning track 1. But then my drum, this summoning track still goes to the main output. So this is where Logic's IO comes in. So IO stereo. Now my mixer, like I said, goes into output 3 and 4 from my audio interface. And then when I want to re-record it back, then my input is going to be 3 and 4 as well. But let's skip the input for now. You can do ping to kind of see the latency, because all of these things has some sort of latency, the cabling, everything, but also what I have in Logic as kind of plugins. Right now, this project doesn't really have any plugins outside of like compressors and EQs. So I expect the latency to be a little bit small, I guess. All right, so I have this set up, output 3. I don't want to adjust anything else. The last thing I have to change is the output of the summoning track itself, because right now it still goes to the main stereo out. So then I send it to no output, because my output is channel 3 and 4. So right now what I'm hearing is just the musical pieces, so the bass and the stab. But then if I start raising this on the mixer, there's also the same concept if you want to send your pieces to a compressor, to a delay, to something like this. But yes, I have everything running through this. Let's see, everything is kind of neutral now. Pan, these two EQs that I have, and the gain. So if I listen, it's pretty low. But the interesting part is that as I'm driving this, the gain, this is where you get that texture, man. The texture is phenomenal. So yes, let me test this. Let me just lower this so I don't go too crazy. So right now the kick, the drums is kind of very low, but I think that would be kind of an ideal for me there, but maybe a little bit more. But just to kind of show, let's kind of go overload with this. There is the overload sign here. So you kind of start to get that, especially on the hi-hats. I don't know if you hear it. But I will stop here because the way I see it is like the more I raise it, the more it kind of tricks my ears. So right now I'm like, I think dead center on the knob. And of course I have the EQs. I did a whole video about this mixer. Probably I will also leave that in the description. But this mixer, man, this is great. In that video that I did made a mistake where I didn't really assign the right input from my audio interface, so that kind of created little weird things with the overdrive. Right now, sounds pretty good. So let's see. I want to be a little bit moderate with my EQ because I don't want to go kind of too much with it. So let's see. Pan, of course. Yeah, I think I'll add some other kind of little sounds here and there. So give me a second. Okay. So I kind of like this. I added just a few more little organ stabs just to kind of add a little bit of another thing that I think will be cool as well is kind of some sort of automation. So I have my reverb plugin here from Arturia. I'm just using the kind of preset 80s plate. So my idea is that I want to kind of automate the weight level, something like that. something like this. But yes, we will see that later on. All right, so let's try to record all of this in. I will try to separate things a little bit, so I will try to record the kick on its own, and then I will try to record the rest of the drums. Maybe I will just kind of mute the open hat, and then I'll do another section where I don't mute the open hat. So let me try that. All right, so right now I want to print everything out. I changed the input. Have to assign an input, so 3 and 4, and with some ping and latency offsets, I got 41 samples, so I guess that's kind of good. I'm going to send my summoning tracks, so everything from the summoning tracks to a bus. I've set up bus 2 right here. I will set the value of bus 2 to 0, and then I'm going to create an audio track. And then for the input of the audio track, I'm going to set the input as bus 2 because I want everything to be printed from bus 2. So if I'm going to do this, I think this should work. I arm record. And then let's see. This is my current kick. You see it's a little different once it is printed out. So if I play everything without the mixer, eventually the idea is you can also print every single pieces of the drums. What I did here is kind of a shortcut. I kind of printed out kind of in mass in a sense, but you can eventually print out like one by one if you want like that kind of a preciseness. So I want to print out the kick, the claps, the snares, and everything. But of course you add in gains and drives, so there has to be a difference. But it's kind of add that little characteristics. So yes, I like this. As far as the beat goes, I mean, the beat can definitely be improved in some ways. Maybe some vocals here and there. As far as mixing in general, kind of processing, maybe some sort of compressors, EQs, more kind of EQs and stuff like this. All right, so yes, I like this. This kind of gives a little bit of usefulness to the mixer. It's a really nice tool. I like this a lot. Of course, I'm not necessarily an expert in these kind of mixer, but yes, this is something that I do very often. And this makes it a little bit easier to work when I have these sort of settings. But it's processing stuff from Logic. Mainly I use Logic, but you know, the simplest way is if you have like the SP44, just plug it in and do the things and then record the inputs. But in Logic is a little bit, I guess, interesting to kind of use the IO plugin and stuff like this. Like I said, I've mainly tested drums, but like as I'm playing a little bit of live set, I also kind of, when I do this, I separate my inputs, so I have more inputs coming into the mixer, and then from there I can easily adjust things. But yes, in this kind of test, it's just drums. It's great to add characteristics to the drums. I mean, anything, not just drums. The next one, I'll probably talk about how I use my audio interface. Like I mentioned, I've kind of, I don't want to say reached the limit of what it is, but I'm wanting more outputs. Inputs, I'm okay, but outputs, yeah. So maybe I will do a little breakdown on that. Let me know if you if you like to see something like this. And also let me know if you have any thoughts on this mixer, on how you process your audio from a DAW to maybe something like this, maybe a compressor, maybe other mixers as well, or even something like the SP404. The SP404 has an input and output, so you can also do that, send it through the SP404 and then run it back into Logic. Yeah, the beat, I like this. I think I will work a little bit on the beat, but as far as all of this setup, that's all, man. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.